Hey, shalom to the hopeful elect. First and foremost, I'd like to give all honor, praises, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim Rachakwadash. Double honors to the apostles, bishops, and elders at Great Millstone who teach the truth and rule well. This is the brother Yatabia Wa'ala coming back from the GMS SF Bay Area camp. And I got a quick lesson today. All right, Lord's will is edifying. But this one just going into the topic of, we don't love our lives here. All right, so-called lives, right? Because even though we're living, it's not truly living, right? Living in this society that's ran by the Edomite, being in the positions that we're in, all right, according to the curses, all right, we're not truly living, all right. It's basically like we're, I think the elder Amwan Gabar said is basically just surviving, all right. But this isn't the way, all right, that is meant to be, all right. And again, we seek an actual life to come. All right. But while we're here, we understand that this isn't it. Okay. Now I'm going to start with this. This is Revelation 12 and 11. And it says, and they overcame him by the blood of the Lamb. The blood of who's this day? It's talking about the elect, right? What are they overcoming? A Satan. All right. Esau. Okay. The beast. All of the above, right? But overcoming by what? By the blood of the Lamb, which is Yahushua. All right. Because if it wasn't for Yahushua, we wouldn't even have a chance. All right, to be able to have our this grace period, to have our sins covered. Okay, if it wasn't for Yahushua's sacrifice, we wouldn't be here. But it says, and they overcame him by the blood of the Lamb and by the word of their testimony, and they love not their lives unto the death. And that's another thing too. What's the testimony of the elect, right? We being the hopeful elect, because nobody knows if they're of that number yet. But the testimony is what? The same testimony of Yahushua, the spirit of prophecy. All right, this truth, this gospel, these words, all right, righteous words, the correct doctrine. All right. But again, what comes with that testimony? That the talking against or the disputing of the rulers of this world. All right, the Edomite. They're going down, right? A righteous rulership to come with Yahushua and the elect. All right, letting Esau know that this is it. This is his last little hoorah. Okay, and all the heathen for that matter. But it says, and by the word of their testimony, and they love not their lives unto death. And this is the point, right? They love not their lives unto death because again, the elect are going to have that understanding that this isn't life, right? To the things that Esau are going to come with, the things that he's going to be offering to stay alive. All right, he's going to make the people take that see it, right, which is the MOTB. But what is it going to be? Just barely getting by, eating his lab-grown food, right, or lab-grown meat, okay, GMOs, all right. You probably be in a 15-minute city. This is his dystopian future, right? You will own nothing and be happy. So is that really living? But again, the elect understand this and know that, no, right? It says, and they love not their lives unto death. Now, let me grab this in Mark 8 and straight to the point. Yeah, verse 34. It says, and when he had called the people unto him with his disciples, he said unto them, whosoever will come after me, let him deny himself and take up his cross and follow me. Right? Now, what does it say? We present our bodies as a living sacrifice, understanding that we don't have a life here, all right, and wanting something better to come. Well, what do? We deny this life. We deny the fleshly desires of this life, right? We deny what we want to do, all right? And to do what? To do the will of the Lord, right? To make our calling and election sure. We push this truth. Scripture, Yahushua said, if you love me, feed my sheep. All right, out there on the highways and byways, proclaiming the testimony. That's our only way out. And Lord's will, we be of that number. But it says, whosoever will come after me, let him deny himself and take up his cross and follow me. For whosoever will save his life shall lose it. So the little life you're trying to save here, what is it going to cause you to do? It's going to cause you to compromise. Because again, if you want to save your life, what's coming is what? The MOTB, the MOTB, the CHIP. If you take that, what's going to happen? Well, that's an outright denial, all right, or an outright, basically, denial, for lack of a better word, denying Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, right? Denying what he's promised, denying the hope, denying the faith. That's you selling out. All right. So if you're trying to save what little you have here, well, what's going to happen? Revelation, the 14th chapter, because it tells you exactly what happens if you take that siyub in the presence of Yahushai coming back. That's the crazy part, right? But what is the Lord telling us to do? Well, first off, he's giving us the faith and the understanding to realize what's going on here, right? And with that faith, which is a gift, what can we see? That this place is in a messed up state. So if you want to save anything here, right? If you want to save the little life that you have, the so-called life that you have, what are you really saving? You're saving basically a future that you want Esau to thrive. You want his dystopian, everything that he has in his mind, that's what you want to prosper. All right? But the Lord is already telling us that that's not the way to go, and he's going to upset this man. It says, for whosoever shall save his life shall lose it, but whosoever shall lose his life for my sake and the gospel's, the same shall save it. All right? And that's the point. All right? We are called to do this. We are, basically giving up our life. And, that's exactly what's going to happen. Right? The scriptures say we haven't striven unto blood yet. There's a persecution coming for those who are preaching this, right? Who are teaching this. Those who even those who denied it or went back into the world. They're on record, all right, proclaiming this truth, in one way, shape, or form, right? Because there's going to be basically a war, right? Revelation, the 12th chapter, all right, the 12th verse, Esau coming down with great wrath. He's not going to be sparing. If you're going to get with him, all right, to save the little you have, and it's still going to be hell, right? The scriptures talk about that, the trust in the shadow of Egypt shall be your confusion, or you trust in the Lord. But what comes with that? Acts 14:22, through much tribulation shall we enter into the kingdom. Okay? So again, let me read this again. Mark 8:35, it says, for whosoever will save his life shall lose it, but whosoever shall lose his life for my sake and the gospel's, the same shall save it. So if we put this sacrifice, right, we deny our flesh, we deny, the little that Esau's offering, this so-called life, well, what's happening? The Lord promises something better, right? And we're going to get into it. Okay, and this is why it's so beautiful to go over the promises, right? It's so beautiful to have the understanding and know what's going on, because what do they say? When there's no vision, the people perish. That's why you have to have that vision. What's the vision? The promise or the prophecy that's going to come, that the Lord is going to set up something better here. All right, and you have to believe that. I mean, look at what the Lord has shown us thus far, that this place is polluted beyond all saving. All right. Let me get that real quick. Well, let me finish this and I'll grab that. It says, whosoever shall lose his life for my sake and the gospel's, the same shall save it. For what shall it profit a man if he shall gain the whole world and lose his own soul? Or what shall a man give in exchange for his soul? Whosoever therefore shall be ashamed of me and of my words in this adulterous and sinful generation, of him also shall the Son of Man be ashamed when he cometh in the glory of his Father with the holy angels. When Yahushua cracks the clouds, all right, in that chariot, if you sold out, all right, and there's levels to it, right? You could sell out to have a little bit. You got so-called rich people here, right? That have some type of substance, and Esau might let you have some substance, right? But it's still his at the end of the day. It's still polluted at the end of the day. But again, the Lord is saying, what is it worth it? Right? It says again, verse 36, for what shall it profit a man if he shall gain the whole world and lose his own soul? Your soul is at stake, right? Your position in the kingdom is at stake. If you are willing to give up, what the Lord has promised for something here, for what the man of sin is offering at that, right? So again, this isn't a place for us, right? This isn't our rest. This isn't our kingdom. This isn't a life, right? Micah 2:10. It says, arise ye and depart. Now, how do you arise and depart? You get into the scriptures. You get into the promises. You get into the prophecies. All right? You watch. You pray. All right? You study to learn the Lord's will. All right? It says, arise ye and depart, for this is not your rest. It's not our rest. So how could we have a life here if this ain't our rest? We're constantly daily on the grind, right? Bodies are breaking down, different relationships you had breaking down. All right. It's like you can't trust most of these people or any of these people in the world, right? Because they don't know what the difference between good and evil, right? That's not a place that we can rest. How can you rest? King Solomon said it, right? All is vain. And, he was in a glimpse of the kingdom back then, right? But even he knew it was vain. Because, again, being in these bodies, all right, having a limited lifespan, it is what it is. This isn't our rest, right? And, again, the Lord has promised something better, all right? And again, that's why it's beautiful to go over those promises. Jeremiah, the 31st chapter, right? 1 Corinthians, the 15, all right? Isaiah, 60 and 61, going into the, Deuteronomy 28, the blessings, right? Not the curses, but the full blessings. But then having a body to be able to enjoy that, hey, this is what the Lord has promised. So again, we have to keep these things at the forefront of our minds, especially going through what we're going to go through. All right? Because again, things haven't gotten bad yet. It says, arise ye and depart, for this is not your rest, because it is polluted. It shall destroy you even with the sword of destruction. So again, if you are invested here, right, if you sell out, if you take what this man is offering, all right, if you want to keep the little bit of, pleasure or comfort that he's offering, what is it going to do? It's going to destroy you. And again, ultimately, you take that CHIP, that MOTB, Revelation the 14th chapter, all right? You're going to be destroyed in that thermonuclear destruction in the presence of Yahushua coming back. All right. So again, at the end of the day, nothing here is worth it. All right. Let me jump over here. 1 John 2 and verse 15. All right. And the subheading says, do not love the world. It says, love not the world, neither the things that are in the world. If any man love the world, the love of the Father is not in him. All right. Hey, we are, well, like the brother had mentioned earlier, hey, it's like the Matrix, right? Well, and actually, it was Apostle Recall. We're in and out. We use the world, we use the world as not abusing it. We do what we got to do, but at the end of the day, what's at the what should be at the forefront of your mind? The kingdom. All right. It says, love not the world, neither the things that are in the world. If any man love the world, the love of the Father is not in him. Yeah, because that shows you have no understanding. How are you going to love this place, this dystopian future that Esau has in mind? All right. Just seeing how bad it is, right? Seeing how polluted it is. Again, everywhere you look is some debauchery. All right. Something else, new pesticide he's allowing. All right, new lab-grown meat he's allowing, right? It's a new alphabet parade, all right? Something more on the television, right? Everywhere you look, it's wicked. So you think the Father's going to love you for loving this place? It's impossible. It says, for all that is in the world, the lust of the flesh and the lust of the eyes and the pride of life is not of the Father, but is of the world. And the world passeth away. So this world's not of the Lord. Yahweh Hashem Yahushua is not with this world. He's not with this society. It's not God bless America. All right? This society is polluted. And it needs cleansing. And it's going to come by way of what? That thermonuclear fire. It says, and the world passeth away and the lust thereof, but he that doeth the will of the Most High abideth forever. And that's the point. Right, and what comes with doing the will is sacrificing our time, right? Making our bodies a living sacrifice, doing whatever we can to push the words of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. All right, again, going out there on the highways and byways, preparing lessons, reading, all right, studying, praying. That all takes time. Okay, but meanwhile, what are the people of this world doing? Hey, they're into everything, all the distractions, right? They don't get in and get out. They're just fully immersed. It's one distraction after another, and they don't stop. They're just fully plugged in, right? We plug in and we plug out, right? When we get back to work. But hey, what is the majority of the world doing? They're in it, and they don't even know that they're compromised, right? So again, verse 17, 1 John 2 and 17 says, and the world passed away. This world's gone, right? This world, well, is what does it tell you in Second Ezra, right? It goes into the parts of the world that basically the age of the world that the Lord has broken it up in the 12 parts. We're in that 12th part, right? It's in that same chapter, it says the world is waxing old. Okay? And that's where we're at. This society, this rulership that we're in, the rulership of the heathen, the rulership of Esau, Edom, right? It's destroying this earth. So what's going to happen? The Lord is going to clean it up, and he's going to set his son and the elect up over it. All right? And ultimately the whole nation of Israel. It says, and the world passeth away and the lust thereof, but he that doeth the will of the Most High abideth forever. So if you do the will of the Most High, right, that's how you abide forever. That's really how you enter into eternal life. All right? Again, this isn't life. But there is something better coming. Okay? Let me jump over here. Hebrews 13 and verse 14. And it says, I'll start at verse let me just start at verse 12. It says, wherefore Yahushua also, that he might sanctify the people with his own blood, suffered without the gate. Let us go forth therefore unto him without the camp, bearing his reproach. For here have we no continuing city, but we seek one to come. And let me read that in the NLT, verse 14. For this world is not our permanent home. Hey, we read that, Micah 2 and 10, right? We are looking forward to a home yet to come, and that's the point. All right? So how, if you don't even have a home here, you don't have a rest here, how can you have a life? All right? We're pilgrims. We're pilgrims passing through, this hell, right? Basically this curse. And rightfully so, we went off. But again, we're pilgrims. This isn't our land. This isn't our land at all. We're not even, we got sent here, right? You read about the history, how the Northern Kingdom came over here, to try and do better, right? But ultimately what happened, Judah came over here in slave ships. We were in when the Spaniards came over and almost destroyed the North. This was for our, basically an ass whooping, right? And the Lord was letting us know, this ain't it, right? This is not where you're supposed to be. So understanding that, and fast forward to today, you have the Edomites still in control, right? You have us in all the lowest positions. You have a glass ceiling, all right? You have the majority of our people bugged out. How can you set up shop? You know what I mean? Anybody in their right mind be like, this ain't it. So again, in the NLT, Hebrews 13:14, it says, for this world is not our permanent home. We are looking forward to a home yet to come. And again, that's what we're looking for. We're looking for that kingdom. All right. We're looking for a true life that is worth living, where we can rest, right? Where we don't have pain. All our people are good. All of them. There's not going to be a bugged out Israelite in the kingdom, right? There's not going to be any abomination. There's not going to be heathen cooking up madness, right? And if they try to, it's going to be judgment. Okay? This is what we look forward to. 2 Peter 3 and 10, it says, but the day of the Lord will come as a thief in the night, in the which the heavens shall pass away with a great noise, and the elements shall melt with fervent heat. The earth also and the works that are therein shall be burnt up. That nuclear destruction, that second death. Seeing then that all these things shall be dissolved, what manner of persons ought ye to be in all holy conversation and godliness, right? Knowing that this place is going to be destroyed, knowing that the Lord is not happy with this place, what is our mentality, right? What's our conduct? Are we trying to come closer to the Lord? Are we trying to do his will to the best of our ability? Or are we out here caught up in the matrix? All right? And caught up in the matrix, this shit is about to be destroyed. The matrix is about to be destroyed. All right? I mean, well, real quick, and I'll jump back. It talks about getting that mark, that tawah, which is exempt from judgment, but there's a certain particular way, right? A certain conduct, right? Ezekiel 9 and verse 4, it says, and the Lord said unto him, go through the midst of the city, through the midst of Jerusalem, and set a mark upon the foreheads of the men. Right? And again, this mark, when you look into it, it's exempt from judgment. It's a total different mark than the one in Revelation, the 13th chapter. This is for the elect. It says, a mark set upon the foreheads of the men that sigh and that cry for all the abominations that be done in the midst thereof. All right? So the elect are crying and sighing, right? For the things that are being done in this world. Okay? The nastiness, the debauchery, all right? The sickness. So in turn, what are those men going to get? For knowing that what's happening, what's going to come, all right? For knowing that the Lord is not with this place, they're going to get a mark of exemption. Verse 5, and this is to the others who are stuck in this place. And to the others he said in mine hearing, go ye after him through the city and smite. Let not your eyes spare, neither have you pity. Slay utterly old and young, both maids and little children and women, but come not near any man upon whom is the mark, and begin at my sanctuary. Then they began at the ancient men who were before the house. All right. And it's going to start with those who know that they're Israelites. Right. But again, who has that mark of exemption? The elect, those who are sighing and crying, those who are whose conduct is not with the world, who's against it. All right. Spiritually. Now, we're not out here, taking up arms and fighting rebellions. No, the scriptures say, wait upon me. All right. We're spiritually, against this world. And how do we do that? By preaching the word, right? By saying the words of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai and what he has against this world. Right. Let me jump back to 2 Peter 3 and I'll close it out. Verse 11 again. It says, seeing then that all these things shall be dissolved, what manner of persons ought you to be in all holy conversation and godliness, right? Sighing and crying, putting on as the elect. Verse 12, looking for and hasting unto the coming of the day of the Most High, wherein the heavens being on fire shall be dissolved, and the elements shall melt with fervent heat. Nevertheless, so again, we're hastening this destruction, because again, what comes with this destruction? A cleansing. But nevertheless, we, according to his promise, look for new heavens and a new earth wherein dwelleth righteousness. And does that mean we're out here in the solar system looking for a new planet? Which, that will come. All right. In my Father's house, there are many mansions. No, when it goes into new earth and new heavens, it's talking about renewed. Right. But it says, nevertheless, we, according to his promise. So this is what the promise of the Lord's, this is what he said will happen. It says, look for new heavens and a new earth wherein dwelleth righteousness. All right. This is what we look for. This isn't life, but the kingdom to come, that's a life. Verse 14, wherefore, beloved, seeing that you look for such things, be diligent that you may be found of him in peace, without spot and blameless, right? And accounting the long suffering of our Lord as salvation, even as our beloved brother Paul, also according to the wisdom given unto him, hath written unto you. All right. But we want to be without spot and blameless. We want to be putting on as the elect, right? We want to be diligent. We want to be watching. We want to be praying. We want to be feeding the spirit as best as possible. All right. But again, Lord's will, this is edifying. It's a quick lesson, going into loving not your life here. All right. And seeking our lives to come in the kingdom. But call Halayim Yahweh, B'Hashem Yahushai, B'Hashem Rachakodash. Double honors to the apostles, bishops, and elders at Great Millstone. Shalom to the elect and Abba Baba.